All right. Well, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 6:30 p.m. and we'll go ahead and get started with roll call. Paola?
District 1 Alderwoman Ana Carrillo.
Here.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 3 Alderman David Emery.
Here.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez is absent.
Thank you so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please stand and we will take care of our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Oh, thank you, sir. And let's see, B and H and concern HOA. Okay, roger that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to item number 4, and this is citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the city council on any issue or any item of the agenda in compliance with LGC section 551.007. City council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC 0169. And I think we had Mr. Cruz. I want to go ahead and come on up. I think, if I remember correctly, let's see, B and H, and those are different ones that we have. Okay. Yes, sir. You got 3 minutes.
Resident of Saddle Ridge regarding the ongoing and upcoming development activities in our community. Question. So question number 1, what are the scope and timelines for phase 3 and 4 for Saddle Ridge development? Where are these phases being initiated if phase 2 remains incomplete? Also, can we or will we receive documentation plans for phase 3 and 4, including layouts, infrastructure plans, and city approved permits or plans?
Okay.
The question is HOA fee concern, which requires the developer not currently paying HOA fees on the lots they own. This lack of contribution is placing a financial burden on current residents and have reported pushed the HOA budget into the red. We're hoping that the addition of phases 3 and 4 do not result in increased HOA fees for existing homeowners. We believe in transparency and accountability are essential to maintaining trust and financial stability in the community. I look forward to a response and the requested documentation. Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate you mentioning that. Please get word our city attorney so we can go ahead and, our city administrator so we could go ahead and take care of that. And there will be, I'm going to be straightforward with you. There'll be some things that we'll be able to provide clarification, but some of the things actually belong to the HOA, which is independent from the city of Lytle. Okay? But we'll close what we can with you. Okay? Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad that that worked out really good with that first meeting. I heard we had Councilman Rodriguez there, so I'm glad that that worked out with a few things that you had open. Yes, sir. No problem. Okay, anybody else in open comments? All right. So let's go ahead and move on to consent agenda. And we're going to go ahead and look at consider the approval of the minutes, October the 27th, 2025.
Mayor, I'd like to start by making a motion to approve the meeting minutes for October the 27th, 2025.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, got a second. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Okay, and let's go ahead and move on to B, consideration of the approval of the payment of the bills.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the payment of the bills as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second? Okay. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Zachary, on Fonterra, I know we had asked in the past, and based on the price that we're paying monthly, we had requested at one point a inventories list and responsibilities. Have we received that?
So we do have the inventory, and I'm happy to provide that if you would like to see that. As far as responsibilities, all that is outlined like in the contract and everything, but we do have a list of all the equipment.
So can we get a copy of the contract and the inventories list? If you don't mind sending it to all the council members. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry, one more.
Okay.
So the Hansco, is that finished? That project's complete? Is that a complete payout?
Yes, that's for the demolition of the structural agreements.
Okay,
Yeah, and
thank
we've
you.
invoiced the customer. Obviously, I don't anticipate us getting paid back, but we'll assist the.
But that's gonna be- That'll be tied into the property at some point. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
No problem. Anything else, council? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Come on in. There's plenty of seats in the front. It's like church. We got plenty, there's always, come on up. It's no problem whatsoever. You can even hang out with Richie over here. It's all good. All right, let's go ahead and move on to item number 6, open session. Take action on the item discussed. A, consideration and possible action concerning driveway access for single-family homes built in the GGG subdivision. Do we have anybody here?
We asked them to be here, I would say if they would, unless y'all want to have a conversation about it.
The only thing is because of the timetable that they actually have, I would like to go ahead and have that discussion so at least we can bring the council up to speed
Sure.
with where we're at, because some of the council members, it was best. And Austin, at the same time, we can get direction to, we're going to talk about it and just put it out there. I'll present some information in there based on some research and stuff and see if we can go ahead and just take care of it as best as possible, because I think it's just clarification type action.
Not a problem. I'm happy to do that for council, and we'll see where we end up. But I think the data sheet did a pretty good job of trying to summarize the situation here. Basically, this GQG subdivision was platted back in 2022, May of 2022. At that time, variances prior to that were given in 2021 to the lot size for 3 lots. So it was one singular lot. They wanted to go down to or make 3 lots. And this is at the corner of unimproved Hester Road and off of Somerset. And so they wanted to go to 3 lots. They were approved to do so based on the variance that was approved by council at that time. Part of the conversation at that time was centered around driveway access, a large percentage of the conversation. Ultimately, there were multiple options, I think, discussed, and reviewing the videos and going back and looking at the minutes. But one of the things that was discussed was if they chose to go a different route other than what council wanted, which was originally they had approved going into the rear of the property off of Hester, creating kind of a shared driveway among the 3 lots, and they would be parking in the back, right? So that way, the biggest concern was traffic off of Somerset, and especially backing up into Somerset, being such a busy road. Ultimately, as you fast forward to 2025, earlier this year, they pulled permits for 2 of the homes, and they have started construction, obviously. The permits did not, the plans did not include driveways. We were told at that time that that was going to be a completely different contractor doing the driveways, and so we approved the plans based on the plans themselves and just the home. So we're at, I believe, a couple weeks ago now, they started to form up driveways in the front, which obviously was counter to what council had agreed to prior, or the conversations around that. And so we obviously called them in and said, hey, hold on, we got to put a stop here and talk about this. And so I think Mayor probably can add to some additional conversations that happened at that time. David Councilman Emery was here as well. But ultimately, they said, are there any other options? And so what we said is, if you're going to do it in the front, you're going to have a way to basically create a T or a hammerhead type driveway where you have a parking pad that is for 2 cars, as well as the driveway being for 2 cars, since we require a 2-car parking area for residential homes. And that way they would be able to back into that parking pad and then come out Somerset facing forward, since the concern was backing up into that. The drawing that was provided, I did provide to you. At this time, I actually had a conversation, since I was out all last week, with Scott Horowitz, our engineer, reviewing that. He has not given me a for sure A-OK, we're good. So that's the only concern we have that's still lingering out there. But he did say that he should be able to get that to me by Wednesday at the latest. He doesn't see any issue, but he's still just double checking a couple of things. So I'll kind of leave it there, and I think Mayor and Councilman Henry can probably provide additional context and anything else you want to provide.
Yeah, I think with this one, the other reason, and you did mention it, but just for the council, the other reason that we put a stop on it was just because it's a single car driveway, and we're pretty clear that it needs to be a 2-car driveway to be able to have something in there. So we actually sat down with him and just try to get some clarification on there. And this was one of the options that we were talking about. But even though in the picture it kind of looks like it's not that much of a room, when you look at the lots, they're going to take a lot of the room.
We'll take up the whole front yard.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. That's what we talked about back then, and that's why the reason of the other option. What we have here, if Scott says it's okay in a sense of being able to, the only modification I would say is he indicated 14 feet on here. When you look at our driveways that we actually have since the time that we started, they've been 16 or 18. So the minimum I would say needs to be at 16. You said LGI is doing 18?
LGI currently, most of the driveways are 18, but I would say none are under that 16. So
Yeah.
16 definitely is kind of that minimum, and then it goes up from
Yeah.
there.
So I think we just need to. When we talked to them, we also mentioned about making sure that we had distance from the back for them to be able to have that. So it'd probably be good for us to be able to have a consistent 16 on there for them to have the room on there.
The only other thing I will note is I want to be very particular. Any approval or anything, I want to make sure we're really only focused on 19505 and 19503. We don't even have plans yet for 19501, and so I would like to address that completely separate at a different time. I know they provided it in the drawing, but being that we have no plans and no permit that's been issued, I think it would be
Yes.
doing us a
You're correct.
disservice to talk about
Yeah.
that.
So we're trying to help them out as best as possible, but I think we need to stay within the parameters if they're going to do something, and having the width that goes along with that. And just why are we concerned with that in the past? Just council, you're looking at the average between 6.5 to 7 feet. Some of the trucks, and that's a regular car. So if you're looking at a truck, nice full-size truck, work truck, you're talking about more closer to 8 feet, depending on what size of mirrors that they actually have. So I think it's at a minimum, we need to stick to the 16 feet, both on parking and also on the width, just so they can have the distance that goes along with that based on Scott doing the engineering in that area too. They'll have to look at, because there's certain things that they already have in the front yard that they'll have to figure that out. But I just wanted to provide that.
You mentioned that they had indicated they would put the shared parking in the back. When we talked to them, this for the council members, when we talked to them the other day, they said, well, we looked at it, and once we got the houses on the ground, there wasn't enough room to make a shared driveway and parking area for the houses. So that's why they shifted out to the front. And I'll put my 2 cents worth at minimum 16 feet for both the pad and the driveway.
Are the houses already up?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
two, the 19505 and 503.
The blue and the gray one?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there room for a third one?
Yes, right.
Technically,
That's
I mean, because the variances were given yeah.
Yeah, but when the plans come over, we'll have to look at
Yeah,
them.
I mean, we'll have to double check that.
We don't know what size of the house it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, there are 3 lots there. They were planning as 3 lots based on the variances that were approved back in 21 and 22.
so Austin, can we just make a motion for those 2 homes to have driveways and hammerheads at 16 feet and just leave it there based on engineering review? Just so it doesn't need to come to council or anything.
Yeah, so what the problem is, there are no regulations on driveway. This is R1, correct? So R2 has a parking regulation where requires 2 parking spaces.
We do have a
It's
2-car.
for R1 as well, but it's not codified.
Okay, yes.
But it says a 2-car.
It does say 2. It was done in 20.
Okay. And it just says what they need 2 parking spots.
Yeah.
If it mirrors the language in R2, it just says they've got to be arranged in a way. It's arranged so as to bring it satisfactory to egress and ingress.
That's the reason why we discussed it with them.
So whatever design, I don't know that we can dictate the design, but if they submit a design that allows for satisfactory ingress and egress, then it's gonna be.
Yeah, but the bottom line is that the original council denied the front parking or front driveway. So we can go by that.
Board of Adjustment did, yeah, council city.
Yeah, so, I mean, just that alone doesn't allow for the front, but I'm willing to agree with the council if they so choose to have that 16-foot. But I need clarification. This was okay in discussion?
This was what's an option, but the option, from what we, please correct me, is it was going to take too much of the front yard. So they were looking at other options to try to do that. And that's the reason why they actually moved away from doing
I think
this.
the other competing factor you have now is the third lot, right? That's not built on is technically under another ownership, whereas previously it wasn't. So that's the other competing factor with now the driveway, in the rear. They have to amend the plat to access easements and all that kind of stuff. So not our problem.
The problem is we keep getting people coming in here. We keep getting residents coming in here and they want to build something that the property doesn't support. We constantly get that. And as a council member, I have to go based on what our ordinances have, based on what seems reasonable, right? And I mean, to follow just the rule, and the original council said no parking in the front. The parking was allowed in the back. So I need to know, what I need to know right now is, can we approve the 16 feet in the front with the T head?
That's what we've actually talked to them as an option for them to do that. Not specifically with the 16 feet, but telling them about the 2-car.
See,
Because that's-
then my motion would be to only allow the front parking if it had the T and it was at 16 feet. That would be my motion.
That's what we've done with everybody else when we talk about driveways.
Right, and unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with when people come in here. I say people, when residents come in here and want to go beyond what the ordinance allows. So, I mean, I'm willing to make a motion that specifically states a 16-foot driveway with the T-head, which would allow them to turn and back out.
In the initial discussions, I don't think we voted against front parking. But
Right, however,
they said, we plan on putting it in the back, and we
Right.
said, good, that's where it should be.
and then it
We
ended
didn't
up
say
with
it's
no
forbidden.
drawing, right?
Right.
And then guess what? All of a sudden, there's
Yes.
forms put up.
Yes.
And that's what we got to try to stop. We got to try to stop the citizens from doing their own thing without coming to council, because based on what I read in 22, that's what ended up happening. It wasn't submitted. It was going to be a different contractor. They were going to require a different drawing. And guess what? None of that ever happened. So you can't go against council's mandates, right?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get at here. So,
We don't need to undo anything because we never made it rock solid. We just need to tell them now, if you're gonna put them in.
Yes, and that's what I would like to do. I would like to make that motion. However, Austin, I need your directive. Do we make that a motion or do we just take no action and allow them to resubmit drawings?
So their original variance that Board of Adjustment gave was to allow smaller lots. And one of the conditions of doing that, because you can go whatever conditions you want, so one of the conditions for allowing smaller lots was no ingress egress directly on the street, right?
Right.
So right now, they have two options. One, they need to, the variance doesn't allow me, it doesn't allow them to build a driveway. Go on, Somerset, right?
Yeah, Somerset
So they
Street.
need to come back to Board of Adjustment and ask for a separate variance, right, allowing, or modifying the first variance, saying here's how the parking. Because that was part of the problem, it was stipulated it would be in the front, but it wasn't where y'all acting as Board of Adjustment.
So do we take no action?
Well, their other option is whatever they're proposing now consistent with rules, that's the great. This T-head thing, and that's an engineering question. So-
But I thought that was our suggestion, our city's suggestion.
We,
with T-head.
when we had the discussions with them, that's what we, and even the second time when we sat with them and we talked about it, that's what we mentioned in the sense of being consistent with.
And that's where the city engineer would look at that and say, yes, that fits within our existing rules, if so, they don't need y'all to prove it, it's already approved, right? It's allowed. If it's not, then that's where we would need a variance, or really in this case, to modify the initial.
Well, and I think the problem is that without any specific width requirement in the ordinance, technically this would, so if the concern is the width, then I would say the best course of action would be to have the variance.
Yeah. Because so we've had these discussions before, and I think, we've had other folks that have been here. And we've been very consistent about the 16 feet before in discussions with others. To include when we had the discussion with the developer and we had the smaller house because they wanted to put a single, and we're like, nope, you got to put 2-car, driveway. And it had to be consistent with what we had. So that 16 has always been there. LGI has decided to go a little bit larger. But
And if all we have is a rule that says you need two parking spots, then you don't need to 16.
well, I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's in the best interest of the owner for us to go ahead and do 16, because if we do engineering, I can tell you right now, based on what they have, it's not going to have enough room, and they're going to have to do concrete the whole front of the yard.
But I think the engineer would have to.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to help the residents out, and we're trying to give them an option so they don't have to come back to us. And that's basically, we want to say, hey, if you're within, you'll be okay. Because then the engineering costs are going to go ahead and go along with that. There's no way. When you look at that, picture a big truck, okay? Got 27 inches. Yeah, feet. I'm sorry, 27 feet, right? You're going to try to back up into 14 feet, backing from that all the way back. You're not going to be able to back it up.
Yeah, so the council's role in that would be to go ahead and incorporate that standard into the design rules, right?
So let's do this. I don't want to spend any more time. If we can just go ahead and have a motion for us to go ahead and table this until we get further direction and get our engineer involved, and then we'll take it from there.
Table or take no action?
Table would be back next time.
Table will go back.
As soon as they get their revisions.
The engineer tells them you need 16 feet, which is what y'all are saying. They don't.
Personally, I think the engineer is going to say that they're going to need wider in one of those. I'm going to be honest with you. One of them is actually going to have to be more than even 16 feet in order for you to back up that truck and be able to do what you need to do.
And in that case, they need to come back to a variance because they're asking you to do something other than what the engineer.
Okay.
So to take no action.
I would take no action. I mean, let's see what the engineer says. And if we need to bring it back to them, we can. If it's going to come back to us, it's probably going to be city court adjustment.
Yeah, I think our concern, at least I know my concern is voiced here. So Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to take no action.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Second? Okay, any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let's go ahead and take care of business. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and take a look at B, presentation and discussion from Kimberly Horn and Associates regarding Phase 1 of the Lidle Master Drainage Plan.
Yeah, so just want to introduce Deanna and the team, but just give you all a brief presentation on the phase 1 portion of the master drainage plan.
Awesome.
Sure. Mayor and council members, thanks for having me here today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being here.
I'm going to give you all a great update on where we are with the master drainage plan and then what's to come. So, just a background on the project. We had two main goals for this project. Was number one being to analyze the existing floodplain within our city limits, and then in turn update the FEMA firm maps with that updated floodplain. And then goal number two, analyze existing areas that experience heavy flooding today and propose solutions to alleviate the flooding conditions in those areas. So, as part of phase 1, which is what we've done up to this point, Kimberly Horn created existing condition hydrologic models to quantify how much runoff was within the watershed that drains into the city of Lidle. So as part of that, 4 watersheds were analyzed: the North Prong Atascosa River, West Prong Atascosa River itself, and then Lidle Creek. So our study limits were set to the southern city boundary, and combined of all those 4 watersheds, 17 square miles of drainage area is what drained into city of Lidle.
The North Prong.
I know that wording is small up there, but
I'm just trying to picture it. Trying to figure out. Okay, so Main Street right here. So North Prong on that side, so that would be on that side of 2790. This is 2790, and then this one here. That's and then the Lidle Creek.
Wait, what are the red borders?
those are the drainage area boundaries.
The boundaries for that particular, okay.
All right, council, have an idea? Just so we can kind of.
And then eventually, all those creeks we analyzed, they do drain to Atascosa River. That
Which is down here,
confluence of all of them happens downstream of the southern boundary of the city. Yeah,
right here.
Right.
So we got all those coming right into this area.
So we used 2021 LiDAR topography to delineate those red drainage area boundaries. And we used existing and future land uses to calculate those flows. We did incorporate feedback. We had met with Zach to talk about some of the future land uses within the area, or the areas that are currently undeveloped, making sure that we were accounting for what's to come in those areas in the future with our calculations. And so we calculated the runoff for the 10, 50, 100, and 500 year storm events, which those are the storm events required by FEMA, which is why we chose those storm events.
And the color coding is,
Those are all the different land uses.
red is,
I believe commercial.
oh, so these are zones, these are not levels or amount of flooding.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's the one, that's the slide I'm waiting for.
So that was all that was done in phase 1, was just quantifying how much
Right.
water we had at all of our analysis points within the watershed. So now that we have that, phase 2 is going to consist of the hydraulic analysis and the documentation. So we are going to be creating models of the rivers to delineate those floodplain boundaries. And then we are going to be performing a proposed improvement analysis for the 2 identified areas of interest that we had come up with earlier this year when we met with Mayor and Zach about coming up with some areas that we were concerned about. Those 2 locations are shown here. So location 1 being Bend City Road in Somerset, and then location 2, the culvert crossing under County Road 681.
So I don't mean to interrupt you, and you'll probably cover this at some point. But my question is, when you look at those two slides there, runoff just from the rain itself, is that going to be addressed and shown? Which areas are tended to have a tendency to flood?
Yeah, so when we map the floodplain boundaries, it'll show what areas are
Okay,
inundated with.
perfect. Thank you.
And then we do intend to hold a public meeting where citizens can express any concerns with flooding issues in the area. So we will hold that meeting with Zach and council members if you would like to, a public meeting just to get some input from the citizens on where they're seeing flooding.
We can help you with that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We actually already track it for emergency purposes. So those are the two areas that, because of the effect that it actually has, but there's smaller areas that we really want to prioritize, like Adam Street is one of them in there that we want to put a little bit of emphasis and try to see how we can help that area out. I know that you guys have helped us out with a study over at the Lakeshore. That was one in there. But I would say the Adam Street, just because of the number of homes that gets affected on that. These are very important because it literally closes out people where they can't get across, or it actually closes our only southbound lane to be able to get through that. So, but yeah, we really do track. Our Public Works does a great job of making sure that as soon as we start getting an indication of some heavy rain where we actually need to do that. Actually,
And more importantly, this study will prove by numbers that these are flood zone areas.
Why it's flooding.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It should prove.
I think so it's kind of that last bullet point there, that once they model it out, they'll actually show that make improvements. to the
notice
system.
one of them is down
Right.
there and the other one over there.
Exactly.
681, and the one down there. But those are the areas that we track very closely, and our police department helps us out. Whenever we have some sort of flooding, we actually go ahead and go in there, whether it's barriers or closely monitoring, see what's going on and stuff like that. And it sits in the back. So, yeah, you can definitely do that. Actually, I'll put it over here. And then if you want to do something, and then later on we can talk about it. But this is the map that we actually use. We get a discount because, right? Right?
Because you're tracking it already.
Yeah, we're already helping you out, so you get a little discount for the city,
Yeah.
a little bit. That always works out good. Try to do that. Council, questions?
Oh, just one more point, if I could make one.
Yes.
So to wrap up the project, we will be submitting a LOMR to FEMA to provide all of the floodplain that's shown on the FEMA firm map.
Yes. That's good.
Just want to make that point.
Definitely.
And then, yeah, that's all I have. So any questions?
That's a good lead into item 2. So
Yeah. So the good thing with this, and Zach, if you want to talk about it, so, people have asked the question of why we're spending $7, right? Our residents are paying $7 in their bill. And this is one of the reasons why, so we could go ahead and get these plans done. We can get an idea and come up with a plan, get an action that goes along with that, and then be able to mitigate in certain areas where we need to go ahead and make some drastic changes. For those of you that have lived here for a long period of time, you all know that Bend City, that's one of the areas that when it floods, it's going to flood. And there's a lot of water and that's going to be a major project. So more than likely, we'll need to go after a grant or some sort of funding, but we got to have it in a plan, right? We got to show it in a plan in order for us to be able to do something about it. So we appreciate all your efforts and getting us started and getting it going in the right direction. That goes along.
yeah, and to piggyback off of that, Mayor, I just also want to state that flooding is no more important than the resident that has the flood. The resident that's getting the water coming in, but the importance, like the mayor said, of this study is to be able to have that data to show where the most critical ports are. That's what Mr. Zachary said. And we focused on those and be able to move out from there.
Yeah, I mean, we all know certain areas of flood. I mean, everybody who lived here, or even me, who's you, right? I mean, you see it, it's identifying it, having the improvements identified, so that we can actually really tackle these things. We all know it happens. It's just a matter of the engineers need to tell us how to fix it.
Yes, this is money well spent. Thank
Dan,
you.
Are you going to meld together the water report you did on Lake Shore with phase 2 of this report?
It wasn't the plan, but we can include it as an appendix.
It'd be interesting to see how they fit together, because Lake Shore, we know floods,
Right,
and the water goes somewhere,
Yeah.
and where it goes is down into Lytle.
yeah, so we're taking into account that whole development within this
Mhm.
report with this project. And so if we want to include that as an appendix, just in the
That
report.
probably is a good idea.
Yeah.
Unified plan. Thank you.
Anything else, council? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the team. All right, let's go ahead and move on to item number C, and this is consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 2547, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas, and Kimberly Horn and Associates for individual project order number 25-13-004 regarding engineering work associated with Drainage Master Plan Phase 2, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the city administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement, and providing an effective date. Zach.
Mayor and council, this is obviously just authorization to get Kimberly Horn started on phase 2 of the project. As you just heard what their plan is, they provided the task order on outlining all those different tasks, and then also provided an update on the original payment schedule and kind of what was completed as part of phase 1. So all that was included in the package. And they're still here if you have any questions or concerns about it.
Mayor, I'd like to start by making a motion to approve Resolution 25-47, resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas, and Kimberly Horn and Associates Incorporated for individual project order number 25-13-004 regarding engineering work associated with Drainage Master Plan Phase 2, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the city administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement, and provide effective date today of November the 10th, 2025.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Got a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, yes. All right. Thank you. Appreciate council. Let's go ahead and move on to D, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 25-48, a resolution of the City Council, City of Lytle, Texas, nominating Kimberly Falk to the Atascosa Central Appraisal District Board of Directors for a 2-year term of January the 1st, 2026 to December the 31st, 2027, providing for incorporation of preamble and providing an effective date. I think Kimberly has been doing this. She told us
I
for,
think I've been there 17 years.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say 16. So yeah, so 17 years. We talked to her. She's willing to go ahead and represent us for that and the board. She's got a lot of continuity for the area. I've heard she's done good things too. That goes along with that. So if I could get a nomination or a motion. I'm
Yeah, Mayor, I
sorry.
make the motion that we approve resolution number 24-48 as presented with an effective date today, November 10th, 2025.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor.
I'll
Do I-
second that, Mayor.
Got a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, full disclosure, is that an appointment by the city for a person to represent? Or is that the board already put together? And how does that go about? It's not an election. It's just an appointment.
That's just appointment.
Directors. I mean, each entity with their own nomination, but
And I
based
do,
on,
I do want to also add, we do share some of these appointments with like the school district.
Right.
yeah.
and
Yeah, because
other-
I see the
Yeah.
board and there's
Yeah.
there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, council. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great evening. Okay, let's take a look at E, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 2549, a resolution of City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, amending the terms and conditions and an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and Ioka Engineering LLC for implementation of health inspection services, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such agreement and providing an effective date. Zach.
So mayor and council, obviously at the direction of council, we are asking to amend the contract, the scope of services for AOK engineers, and this is to add services related to health inspections. And so under Exhibit A of their scope of services, it would just be amended to add that language, as well as Exhibit B to amend the fee schedule that was included in the agreement, and then we'll obviously add on a different item later tonight, our fee schedule. So, yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because when I first read this item, I had so many questions, but then as I went down to the other items, they were all answered.
They were all there.
It's like,
It was
wait a
all
minute,
there.
Mr. Zachary, why didn't you give us this information? Yeah, they were all, it's all included in
Yeah.
further items.
Okay,
Mayor, I can make that motion.
okay.
And that would be the motion to approve resolution number 25-49, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, amending the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and AOKA Engineering LLC for implementation of health inspection services, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement and provide effective date today of November the 10th, 2025.
A motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second? Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, council. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to F, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 2550, a resolution of City Council, City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms, conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and TACNIC, is that right? TACNIC LLC for booster station improvements, CSB 2025-06-03, providing incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement, and providing an effective date.
So, Mayor and Council, back in September, you all did award the CSB as indicated to TACNEC for the booster station improvements, and so this is just the approval of the contract with that group. And then the agreement on during their
And all interested parties already reviewed. We're all good.
Yes, they've already reviewed. Actually, I think their signature was included in the one that's in there, so they've already signed. It's just waiting on us.
All right, Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 25-50 as presented with effective date of today, November 10th, 2025.
Perfect. You have a second? Okay. Thank you. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, council. It's a good project. Maybe us be able to get that fourth booster pump in there, balance the system out. That'll be good. All right, let's go ahead and move on to G, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 2551, a resolution of City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and is it us? USIO Output Solutions, I was trying to pronounce it, for the printing and mail service associated with the utility billing, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate an agreement, and providing an effective date. So I think we got Yvonne and Zach.
Pretty simple. The proposal was presented to y'all at previous October meeting, and this is the actual contract for y'all. It's a 1-year contract, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And nothing changed as far as the fees. Yeah. Is this going to be a Texas firm that's going to actually do it? Okay. Yeah, and then after further reading, and then I saw that the initial setup is included in the price. Okay. Yeah, because it's quite expensive for the setup fee, but it's included. Okay.
Help us out, without a doubt.
Oh, yes. And let's take advantage of the color printing, please. Mayor, I can make that motion.
Okay.
And that'll be to approve resolution number 25-51, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lidle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lidle, Texas, and USIO Output Solutions Incorporated and print and mail services associated with utility billings, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement, providing an effective date today of November the 10th, 2025.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Got a second. Discussion? Question I have is, Yvonne, you're shooting for when to start using them? This next month they'll be ready to go? Okay. Okie dokie. Anything else? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, council. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead. We're doing good, doing good. Let's take a look at H. Consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 2552, a resolution of City Council of City of Lidle, Texas, approving the terms, conditions, and agreement by and between the City of Lidle, Texas, and TXLCO Bear County LLC for professional services agreement, providing for incorporation, preamble, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement and providing an effective date. I think we have Melissa. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, so it's just a professional services agreement with this particular group. So really the biggest reason for establishing this is to cover costs. And so we would establish an account or basically an amount that they would front load, and any bills associated with review development agreements or anything like that would be able to just kind of that amount that they would have, similar to what we've done with Black Farms or a couple other things that we have. So Jesse from our law firm reviewed it, and because the virtual
This is all preliminary to development of the data center.
so this is for a particular development.
Yeah, so normally when you see professional services agreement, you think you're giving somebody money. In this case, we're giving the city money. We understand that to come in and develop an area takes time, and it takes money when you talk to your engineer, your manager, your city attorney, and that shouldn't be real burden, right? So we want to cover that cost. So we're going to deposit the amount with the city in a segregated account, and your consultants spend time on this matter when we're looking at that account. It's a complicated issue. Piece of the property within the city limits, a piece is OTJ, this is the county, a piece of it your CCN, the majority is not CCN. So there's a lot of moving parts. So there's nobody needs a lot of expertise. So this is the first step in that process, and this agreement is just putting in paper that we're going to deposit money to the city. And when that money runs out, we deposit an initial payment and an initial payment. So everything's resolved. This right now is not approving any development or any permits or any construction, anything. This is just to get the ball started, the conversation started, and to make sure that the city's not burdened with any costs.
Jack, you're good with all the verbiage? So you say Jesse looked at it?
Jesse.
Then I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 25-52. Today's effective date, November 10th, 2025.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Okay, Richard, thank you. Have a second. Right, discussion?
Does that also include water rights?
Well, water rights will be a part of the development agreement that ultimately comes, those conversations.
But does this,
It's just gonna cover professional services, like
okay, okay, thanks.
Anything, council, just so you know, anything that we actually do, we're going to follow the same steps that we have followed with any previous development. So we're going to make sure that we do it the most appropriate way and take care of it. This is just like it was mentioned, this is the first step for us to go ahead and lay the foundation of how it's going to need to be tracked, collected, worked on. And then in the future, we'll have some additional stuff that will come in from council for consideration and for approval. Okay. All right. With that in mind, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. All right. Aye. Consideration and possible action concerning request for Pape Dawson on behalf of Calara Group for a 6-month extension of preliminary plat approval for Saddle Ridge Estate Phase 3 and a 6-month extension on preliminary plat approval for Saddle Ridge Phase 4. So, Mr. Cruz, you might hear a little bit about this now.
Yeah,
Just
so-
a little bit.
Yeah, so obviously, as the letters indicated, and we're providing in y'all's packet, we received letters for both Phase 3 and Phase 4 of Saddle Ridge. They are, the preliminary plats are set to expire, and as such, they are, so that they don't have to go through the full process again of P&Z and ultimately council and the public hearings and everything that's associated with that. They are looking to at least request a 6-month extension at this time. As the letters indicated, it's just the kind of the market influences and things like that that they haven't moved forward on this. I think part of the issue with Saddle Ridge is also, as we know, the change in ownership. So that has delayed things as well with this particular development. So obviously, it's a consideration. If y'all don't choose to do anything on this, then it will expire, and then we'll just have to go through the process again as far as the preliminary plats. But nothing has changed as far as their agreement to build like the access road or anything like that. That's still on the table. It's still a requirement. It's just extending the approval of the plat that was given.
And in no way does that delay the access road.
No more than it already has been delayed. I mean, you heard from Calara Group last time. I mean, they're looking to move forward. They've submitted plans. We've talked through everything. So I mean, as far as we're full steam ahead. Pape Dawson is involved in that as well. So
I just want to emphasize the importance of that access road.
100%.
Now, this is just so we can kind of keep things still as an active versus having to start again. We start again, Mr. Cruz is going to be asking, what's going on? I know. So that's what the importance about this one as they try to, and it is a very unique for them just because, change of ownerships, different separation of money. So, it's being handled differently. So it can still keep the value of what the homes that they're putting in there and everything that goes along with that. They want to keep working on it that way. So,
Again, this is a council decision, and even if they get to 6 months and they ask again, you don't have to grant it at that time either. So it's just a way to stay in the process for now, and then we can down the road.
Mayor, I'd like to approve the request from Paige Dawson on behalf of the Calara Group for a 6-month extension of the preliminary plat associated. Sorry, I have a plat approval for Saddle Ridge Estates Phase 3 and 6-month extension of the preliminary plat approval for Saddle Ridge Estates Phase 4.
Got a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Got a second? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas, motion carries forward. Okay. J, consideration and possible action concerning request from Pape Dawson on behalf of LGI Homes, Texas, for a 6-month extension of preliminary plat approval for Rosewood Estate Phase 2.
Yeah, so similar situation with Rosewood, other than the change in ownership piece, but they're just saying that with the market influences and things like that, construction just doesn't make sense right now, so they are wanting to delay that 6 months, and it does expire if they have not done anything, so they're asking for the same 6-month extension on there.
Mayor, I'd like to also make the motion to approve requests from Paige Dawson on behalf of LGI Homes, Texas, for a 6-month extension of the preliminary plat approval for Rosewood Estates Phase 2.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you so much. And let's go ahead and move on to K, consideration and possible action concerning ordinance number 2521, an ordinance of the City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, amending Chapter 10, Article 2, food establishments. I think we got, here we go.
So the city previously adopted very similar to this. That basically, by default, the state is in charge of, or the state health services is in charge of operating restaurants. So we go to the restaurant and see the A+ inspection, that by default goes to the state. If the county or state law does allow county or city to take over that function, the entities that issues the permits and conducts inspections, and also handle claims, everything that the state does, we just do it at a local level. So a lot of times you'll see like Bear County does this, and I've incorporated Bear County. You have to go to the Bear County Health Department, right? San Antonio, a lot of big cities, it's San Antonio Department of Health. So it looks like, as best we can tell, the city kind of started this process and never really followed through with it, because this goes back to like 2010. So it's unclear exactly what transpired, but to get to a place where the city takes over those functions, my recommendation is to adopt this ordinance. It does make some changes. It clarifies some things about inspections. Some of the citations just need updated because stuff moved around in the code as far as like where the health standards are, what the inspection lines are. So that's been updated. And then one other important change is I went ahead and removed mobile food units from this entirely, and made clear that the state would be responsible for regulating those. Reason being, the legislature just passed a law that as of July 1st, 2026, cities are no longer going to be allowed to regulate their mobile food vendors. If I have a food truck and I get my permit from the state, I can operate in any city. The city can. So you also get a permit from us, right? So that's just a change in state law. Since we're doing this now, we would have had to make that change in July anyways. So I had to just include it here.
So Austin, on that, I totally get the permit and it's issued by the state or just covered that way. But the food inspection portion of it, who would be doing that?
It would still be by the state. The state does allow for what's called a collaborative agreement between the state and the local authorities.
Okay.
You can opt in, but you would need to sign a separate agreement with the state to be their health inspector on the ground with the right food trucks.
Okay. Because I remember with another community, and we had that discussion when the legislator came out with that. They basically said at the permitting, because like if somebody wanted to come here, and we've actually operated where if somebody came to us and they already had a food permit or they had an inspection permit that came from one of the other counties, that we would honor them. We wouldn't ask them to do something. So we didn't have anything like that, even though we had been suggested. So now it changes and we don't have to worry about it. But that's more like the initial, right? Because you have to inspect, look at the suppression system, look at all that stuff that goes along with that. But then there's reoccurring. So then you have the food portion of it. And that's the one that I'm asking about to make sure that that's followed through. So is that the one that you're saying that it would become a partnership afterwards?
That's my understanding. There's a carve out to say, there's a carve out to basically to outsource the state, outsource the inspection process to
Yeah.
cities.
And I get it, because a lot of our food, we have some folks here that have them and they travel to different places, right?
That's what it's designed to
So,
do.
and we get that, but at the same time, the routine stuff of how you're going to be able to take care of something if it's coming into the city. Not that they would need a permit, but they would actually have some sort of inspection, right?
So you basically can't permit and you can't regulate in a way that is any harsher than what the state.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm with you.
if it's your question, can our local health inspector go to the food truck and inspect it? That's the question.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if they are here, what he's asking.
Yeah, you
come
get a
up there,
complaint,
is like,
say,
we get a
not washing
complaint or,
dishes.
hey, while we're doing some other things in town,
Yes.
that person can go by the food truck and say, check all that. They would have the authority to do that.
Yeah, the difference is our recourse, if we find a violation of a food truck, our recourse is to report that to the state for action. We can't, there's no action we take.
So on the fire marshal side, we're not inspecting
Well,
food
that's
trucks.
totally separate. Yeah, fire would be.
But how do we, if they say I'm licensed by the state, here's my license, how are we shutting them down if they don't meet our fire code here? If the state doesn't have
That'd be
fire,
totally separate. This is just health and sanitation. This is your sink hot enough, or your washing dishes.
I understand,
Yeah.
but they're permitted by the state, which recognizes the life safety code, which is a much lesser code than the international fire code. They're licensed by the state, I've been inspected, I'm sure not by the fire marshal, just their health, right? But here's my license from the state that says by law I can operate in any of your cities. And then I'm gonna go and say, well, you don't meet our fire code, you can't operate in the city. Is that how we're gonna do it? We're not gonna allow you now in the city?
I'll have to double check. My understanding is that you still have to meet local requirements, like zoning requirements, right? You can't go, we say food trucks aren't allowed in residential neighborhoods. Permit from the state.
So I think the problem though becomes on the fire side as well as what you're kind of mentioning there. Obviously, there's not anything, but the only section we had on mobile food units was in this section. So I think there probably needs to be a completely new section made somewhere covering that aspect of things.
Yeah.
I think that,
I will check.
Our fire
What I
code
was
was
looking
looking
at this thing was just strictly can we work on food and sanitation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but at one point, I think Jesse was involved in it, but there was talk of doing an actual separate mobile food unit ordinance.
Yeah, if somebody was coming in here, they would get.
Stuff, right, so, I think we probably need to get that piece as far as it relates to.
I definitely do that, yeah.
But it health and sanitation, I totally understand.
Yeah, that would be, and that would be separate. For the code, and honestly, that would get into how much, and it may not even be clear until next year how much change, how much the legislative, because they're gonna implement all the
Yeah.
rules, right? And then there's, the period of time. where
Yep.
How does that interact with other existing rules? But I'll gladly look into it, someone to do.
Yeah, just to balance both of them, Austin. And I'm with you. I mean, I know there's certain states, but there's still certain things locally that need to be checked and be able to take a look at. So,
And there are still regulations in the same space, like some cities will have not have compliance related to insurance, right? We have to work for a certain amount of time. Elections,
Well, and we had did some of that this last, I mean, gosh, that was, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago.
Mhm.
They adopted sanitation requirements for
yeah, you're gonna sit there and eat versus everything.
Yeah.
So I'll be glad to look at all that. We wanted to get the ball rolling on this, mainly because it's.
Yeah.
At the end of this, there's a This ordinance,
Can-
the step that was missing. This has to get submitted to Department of State Services, and then they will look at it and post it on this registry of local health authorities. But the city's not gonna do that. So they'll post it up there, and it's gotta be posted I think, for like 60 days before we can have the city actually start issuing permits, conducting inspections.
So we can make a motion on this tonight and we'll work on.
Yes.
Fire issue separately.
Yes, we'll do that separately, but this is, the effective date of this is February first. Right. So we will mail it to the state tomorrow, let them know where we're gonna go for this specific business. And then we will have, December and January to work these out, we'll get everything set up, so we'll have if everything the state has been doing previously, the city, it's gonna detail applications and infrastructure set up.
Oh, in consideration of our discussion tonight, we can still approve this ordinance as written without.
Yes.
any amendments.
Yeah, but if you approve this tonight, that will start the clock basically.
I'll make a motion that the ordinance 2521 as presented. Effective date of May 10th.
Okay,
I
that,
can include a sample fee schedule to the extent it differs from yours. I can work that out.
That's what I was thinking. That was my one question.
I included it in this ordinance because it has to be done. But we can, the council's understanding.
you can adjust it based on,
Make this exhibit A match whatever.
okay, perfect. Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
You got a second? Okay. Any further discussion?
So my concern had always been the nonprofits, the exceptions,
So
and the postings. So it's on page 3, item B, it talks about the exemptions. So then, I mean, they have to comply with the state laws.
they just don't need a permit.
They still need a permit to operate, yes.
I do not.
They don't need.
In this currently, they don't.
You do not need a permit.
So how does the city of Lido know this person or group is nonprofit, and
So the-
how do we know that they are not required to comply with the permitting?
The very next sentence, the end of part B, says the regulatory authority of the city may require any information necessary to conduct an organization with nonprofit purposes.
And who would that be?
The regulatory authority is the city.
So then,
The ALCO ultimately
But we-
just-
is that code compliance? Is that
yeah.
Mr. Meadows?
That's
I mean,
the
Mr.
details we're gonna work out later, because in order basically to establish a department, we haven't talked about what that looks like yet, but we're outsourcing the inspection function to the OCA. We can outsource the permitting function as well, but there still needs to be somebody on the city's end. You just wanna call it city manager, that's fine, but we can work that out.
Austin, I
Or-
think the
or Mr.
last,
Deere.
I
I
think the
don't know
last
if
sentence
that would
is
fall
more
under- No?
just verifying that they're a nonprofit, right? In other words, turning in their paperwork, they're a
Even
501.
if we're saying someone's operating a restaurant, we go over and they say, oh, no, we're exempt for a church, right? We can ask for anything.
And that's why I always-
Paperwork,
That's why I always went back to have it posted. I mean, if they're exempt, that should be posted on the window that they're exemption.
Is there any, would it solve the issue? This is kind of, I guess, a question for you, but also Councilman Rodriguez. Would it solve the issue if we still require them to permit, but we just don't charge?
Yeah, and that's one of the options we were
That
looking
way
at.
We still have, we're still getting that initial kind of look at it from the very beginning, whether, so it's not complaint driven, you know, because I mean, there's enough that's complaint driven, right? Is there any issue with doing it that way? Other than obviously.
And, yeah, and charge, have no fee.
You wanna require a permit just so you.
Otherwise, how does the city know other than what you described earlier?
Yeah, I would check and see whether it's statutory or something.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, if we can, just to do a double check.
Here's the interesting question. The county or a public health district can require a nonprofit organization to take a permit. And I would have to look to see whether that extends to cities as well. Like I said, but I would think of counties and public health districts can do it. But that's the whole idea, is if you go and someone says, I want to get a permit on a nonprofit. what do you ask?
Why is it so difficult to just show your permit on your window?
The permit that you're a nonprofit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to file as a nonprofit. You can't just say I'm nonprofit. Correct?
Post your 501c3.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't that just be posted? Why can't the city require that to be posted on the window? And then as the city administrator was talking, just charge just a zero fee, just so we have that documented. I'm trying to get away from somebody pulling up and just opening up. It should fall under the city's responsibility to provide a safe and healthy environment for our citizens.
Force a nonprofit to announce that it's a nonprofit.
And
But
if they're
I mean, the
about
last
informed,
sentence,
they
the
should-
last sentence says on there that a regulatory authority may require any information necessary to determine whether an organization is a nonprofit.
Yes, but he's asking you to skip that whole step.
No,
No.
that's still part of it.
Yeah.
But I would like, in addition to that, to have it posted.
I mean, if they're
That
gonna,
they have, if it's just getting a permit from us at no fee, and then gets posted on the
It's-
window.
if you look at, and I know that's the exemption, but if you go into number 6, right above it, above B, on there, it says a valid permit should be, well, that's a permit posted on every food establishment vendor.
Yeah, and they're exempt.
You can't permit them under that statute, so I think the only way to answer your question would be if there's just a way to initially tell nonprofits that, hey, if you're gonna do it, you gotta have it posted that you're a 501c3 at all times.
I would need to think about it, honestly. I
Okay.
don't know what, because there is not really like a nonprofit permit. There's a
Yeah.
levy in IRS or.
But it's just showing the paperwork.
Okay, and that shouldn't take away from today's motion.
No, it'd be a
Okay.
separate.
If they come in, and they say we're nonprofit, you say prove it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay,
That's what's allowed.
if anybody goes to them and says, are you nonprofit? We already told the city, go check with them, they'll tell you that we're okay.
However, what I'm trying to get away from is just having somebody pull up a trailer and start selling food without going through any of that.
Well, we can't regulate mobile.
My hope is that.
Yeah, well, the mobile, but I mean, with the exemptions talk about roadside and,
After church, someone wants to have a potluck, right? We don't, the city doesn't regulate that, the state doesn't regulate that. It's a nonprofit group serving food to its members.
well, it's not a nonprofit group, but it's a charitable,
Most churches.
yeah. Well, if the church does it, but if a family goes out there and has a barbecue and starts selling plates.
That would,
The point that it's open to the public is where you get, that's where you still have to obey all the normal commands.
Okay, well, I mean, what I'm trying to get across is I want our citizens to feel safe whenever they go to a food truck or they go to some establishment that's selling openly like this. And if it's a nonprofit, then it should be stated. It's just for the safety of our citizens to know that they are following health rules, especially if we're still going to start doing all this stuff now. We're paying for it. Why not?
I will be glad to look at that. I can have it sounds good. I would think that we have
Thank you.
to extend it, which we can regulate.
good discussion. Okay. Anything else? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Austin, thank you for your help on that. Just do the little tweaks here and there. So be able to take care of that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to L. Consideration and possible action concerning ordinance number 2522, an ordinance of the City Council, City of Lytle, Texas, amending fiscal year 2025-2026 master fee schedule to add fees related to health inspection services.
All right, Mayor and Council, just as we amended the AOCA's contract, this is just amending our particular fee, master fee schedule to incorporate those same costs into the fee schedule. And so you see them highlighted there in the ordinance. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably need to coordinate with Austin. Just I'm looking at his.
Yeah.
Be able to get all that. Thank you. All right.
Here, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 25-22, ordinance of the City of Council of the City of Lidle, Texas, amending for the fiscal year 2025 to 2026 master fee schedule to add fees related to health inspection services.
A motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Yeah, a second. Okay. Any discussion? All the,
Yeah, they make the date, they won't actually take it back.
Until we publicize it.
yeah.
Well, and until the 60-day count.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be doing any inspections or exploration.
Get that.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, yays. Okay. Cool. Okay, 6:46. Okay, department heads, how we doing? Feeling good? Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to number 7, department reports, and let's go have an animal care and control department report. Coming up, Melinda.
Mayor and Council, here to give the report for the month of October. Okay, so we have, I'm forgetting. Calls for service was 14, traps set were 0, animals euthanized 0, animal surrender 5, animals returned to owner 4, animal intake 8, adoptions 9, animal count 28 dogs, 10 cats as of October 31st. Currently, we have 30 dogs, 6 cats, and 3 kittens. We had 2 transfer to the Humane Society on October 30th, Sally and Allie. Don't have any pictures this time. October 18th, 2025, Dragonfly Veterinary Services. November 2nd was the Halloween potty. Didn't go as planned, but we did manage to get some pictures here coming up. Bella's Pantry was canceled because of bad weather. That was when it was really windy and rainy, right? Okay, so there they are.
Now
See the pirates?
you had also partnered with some of the other around here, right? Recently or
Yesterday.
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 Okay.
Yeah, in Divine for it was the adoption extravaganza.
Okay.
So November 8th was Dragonfly. Yesterday, the 9th, was the adoption extravaganza. Those are the upcoming events. November 16th, we have Dog Day Out, when families can come in and take a shelter dog or cat for the day and bring them back before the day's over. I'm hoping that they can get fostered or adopted out once they spend some time with them. November 29th is Bella's Pantry. December 7th, we have the Empowerment Adoption event at Lidle VFW.
Let's keep working hard because unfortunately we got to, based on the limit of kennels that we have in there and for sanitation purposes.
Yeah, no, we've been talking. I've been talking with the team, and if it has to come down to hard decisions, we're gonna have to decide on that. So
keep working with the organization, see if we can get some folks.
Yes, of course.
To be able to take them.
Yeah.
That'd be
Any
great.
questions for me right now? No.
Council?
No.
Anything?
Okay.
Keep doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
Is it? I think this is your official as a director, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Happy. Congrats. Cassandra, here we go.
All right. We had 111 computer users for October and 96 kids users. We had 1,648 checkouts. It went up from last month a little bit, so we're still going strong. We only had one user for that app, but there was 55 loans, which is interesting. They're going to turn it off, I think, at the end of the year. So their state is in talks with another company that they put it out for bid so that they can get it. Over. Those doors are closing, then they're not going to be able to use it. And we had 4 new library card accounts, 39 renewals, and April made 9 library cards. Story time. And these were our pumpkins for the pumpkin decorate. The one on the bottom left, we didn't get to take a picture of it before, so I had to kind of get one that looked similar to it. It had a mishap and it was leaking all over the top of the counter. We're like, what is it? We thought it was a leak in the library, and it was the pumpkin was leaking. So
Finding Nemo.
yeah,
Right?
it was Finding Nemo. That came in 3rd, I think, or 4th. And the first dog came in first.
Wow.
He came in 3. So the kids had a fun business meeting in October. We're still working on this. We're almost done with the team. We should be done by the end of the year. Still offering that. And there's a calendar. And then the top left one, okay, that was a Halloween. And then the middle one is some kind of cancer. I can't remember which one. And the bottom one was and that's it. Any questions?
Well, this Friday, right?
Friday.
No, you had last Friday. You had the
Oh yeah, the book sale. Sorry, I was like lost.
You had the book sale.
Yes,
Right?
it was okay. We're gonna try to maybe do another one in the spring because people were still asking, and some of them got there late, and we were already had put everything away. So, but it went okay.
Went okay.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Council, any questions? Right.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Public Works. Here you go, Pete.
I'll try to make this quick because it's almost 9 o'clock.
9. Oh, we need to change that. Right? Where? My goodness. I know. We haven't even gotten to Richie yet. Then
I
we could
know,
have said
but-
it was Richie, right?
It's been 9 o'clock when I.
I know.
Total work orders, we had 82. Water, we had 79. Meters installed, we had 1. Actually, we had 2 main breaks. There should be 2 up there. Which was, one was in coal mine, one was on 2790.
Yep.
We replaced 6 meters, no service line leaks, angle stops, replaced 1. Washers, 0. Service line leaks, we had 5. Customer leaks, we had 3. That customer request should be the city requested it, should be swapped around. I don't know. Yeah, and it should be the 8 should be the customer's request. And we had 10 new H2O customers, 2 finals, 2 main stoppages for sewer. Miscellaneous work orders, we had 1. And then the total work orders and the water usage for the month. And those are our new mowers.
Councilman can use them?
No, off limits. And that's the main that was in coal mine that was leaking. And that's on 2790.
He's playing in the water there.
Juan,
On.
and that's right there in coal mine. That's Josh in the water. And that's it.
Been doing a great job.
Oh, we got 2 water leaks right now, which will be done Wednesday.
So one on 2790 and the one over here. Once again, well, I don't know about this one, but I know the other ones. Just a reminder, Council, some of these water leaks, unfortunately, it's because the way that they were installed. So they got surrounded by rocks and all that. You get a little shift of the land, and all of a sudden you get a crack, a hairline crack, right?
Yeah.
It happens that way. So, but these guys are tackling them and taking care of them and keep the integrity of the system as best as possible. We can do that. Any questions?
On those two new mowers, the new mowers, I don't know the actual name of it. I call it the roll system. That does pop up, right? For rollovers,
No, just a halfway.
just a half.
Yeah,
Does it allow for the full size?
it should.
Can you look into that? I think that would be a good safety measure. Not that we're gonna be flipping it, but it would definitely help if there's a roll on the side. To look into that.
Okay.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, Richie. There we go.
That's all pretty good thing. 245 calls. Pretty much everything in there is just about normal. 169 citations. The big one was registration still. I'd be speeding, but registration, that pie chart of said arrest, guys are knocking out a lot of arrests for guys and gals. We had 7 this week, but you can see them. There's, DWIs, warrants, burglary. Of course, one of the biggest ones was the case where we got the guy with they were messing with ATM. It's a big crime spree people that were all over the country, really. Same people that hit here actually hit up, that same vehicle hit up in, was it Plano or McKinney, right? Yeah, but that actually so anyway, they're all over the place. And we did make an arrest on that. What else? More arrests, same stuff. DWI, a lot of DWI, drug paraphernalia,
Made
dope.
the mistake and came down the ladder, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of people tangle with me. They end up in cuffs, or I end up sore and hurt. But anyway, no. But yeah, we've been fairly fortunate with a good group of officers that are out there active. There's just enough work here to where you don't burn yourself out, but not so much that you get lazy, which is really the sweet. It's been described to me as this size city and department is kind of the sweet spot, where you have enough where you can still go out and be a small town cop, and then you still have enough crime to keep your skills up. Let me see. In thefts, I mean, we had 3 thefts reported for the whole town. Let me see. We had my mom's gate. Was that in October? That was the 1st of October. That was my mom's gate they took. So one of them, talk about a small town. There you go. 1/3 of the crime was my mom's. Had HEB theft and then Halloween skeleton, decoration. So, burglary, 702 Tejas. They did cut in that place. And there's a couple ATMs, one for some gaming machines, and they got into it, and it belonged to the people who had the machines, and then they did some damage to the guy's building. Let me see what else. No, it's actually the ones in the drive-through. It's one of the ones they were using. Yeah, yes, sir. So all they do is basically they take and get inside it, and basically pull the hard drive out, download something to it, put it back in, and then it's called jackpotting. You can look it up. I learned it just, I didn't know anything about it before that. And they can make it spit out money. And, it's actually a decent skill, I guess. Anyway, what we got there? Activity, siren test, Police Chiefs Association, National Night Out, of course. So October, I'll go ahead and cover this one. October 14th, the sheriff called all the police chiefs in the county, which in Atascosa is Pleasanton, Jordan, Poteet, and us. There's no Charlotte anymore. So us 4. And he said, hey, starting January 1st, 2026, you are going to be responsible for sex offender registry. What is a sex offender registry? 1991, Texas DPS Institute Sex Offender Registry. Initially, it was so law enforcement have an idea where your sex offender lives. The law has been changed constantly since then, and changed. When it came about, the county was nice enough basically to say, we're just going to do the whole county, you know, and when really the departments, most places, the departments do that. So, you know, so we've him-hawed around for what's that, about 91 to here, what's that, about 30-something years with the sheriff's department doing it. But now they're up to about, with the growth in Escos County, they're about 250, 275 sex offenders. And it's just too much, especially when you look at towns like Pleasanton that probably have a huge amount compared to us. We have about 3 or 4. So the deal is, though, what that entails is everybody's different. Some sex offenders have to register; they have to come in and check in maybe once every 6 months. Some maybe once a year. Some quarterly. But they also have to check in if I'm a sex offender and I change my email address or I get a different social media account. I have to report that. So there's stuff that when 1991 didn't exist, you know, it was just basically what's your phone number, where you live, you know, now you've got all this other stuff that's come with it. So we will be doing that. Now, of course, obviously the biggest question was, how the heck do we do it? We don't know anything about it, you know. They said, well, we'll help you. Here's a guy with the state GPS. I reach out to him. He says, you know, we can do some stuff to get you up and going. There's some classes. I said, well, when do you have? We need a class for it. So he goes, well, there was one in suburb of Houston. There's one in Anna, which is up just the other side of McKinney, and it's actually Wednesday. So Danny and David were off, and they're going up tomorrow after the Veterans break to North Texas, and they'll attend that class on Wednesday. So they will come back, get their accounts set up, and we will start. We'll meet with that gentleman from the state, and we will start sex offender registry will be up and running, and we have to import them into our system from the county. I mean, it's, you know, but anyway, it's going to be a little more work. Once we get going, we'll be fine, but it's just another one of those things that I can't blame the county. Really, we just kind of took it for granted all these years.
1 January?
Yeah. So okay. We're 6 weeks out, so that's why it's important to get you guys up there and into something.
Can you fill the council when you do get more information on that?
Well, basically, I can tell you, if you want to know what's going on, go to the sex offender registry and you look at.
No, but I was wondering if someone was to come into a city, are they required to report to that city?
Well, what they're required to report to is whoever does the sex offender registry. So normally when they come in, they always come to us. A lot of them will.
But are they required?
The county does. Yes.
Okay.
Required, yes.
And then you can also cross-reference to their current residents to see if anything's entitled that hasn't been.
All that.
Okay.
Yes, all that, we already know, yes, all that is pretty much documented. It's just a matter of we're going to be the ones responsible for. I mean, Atascosa County was actually taking care of some that were in Medina County. So, you know, it was, anyway, we'll get it all worked out and we'll be good to go. Okay. But it is a little more than, you know, a little something different, you know, new. And it's going to take a little work. What else? Some escorts, cross-country, band, Halloween event, signage, extra officer hand during Halloween night. No real problems there. We did pick up a couple of DWIs, but in general, Halloween was nice. Fireworks and stuff, underground plan review. That's the church hall over there, primary school, vehicle fire stripes. We have fire inspection at a Church of Christ over there. We had a fire and a couple fires officers responded to the run off their own fire into the city. 7 cases at the county, 7 at the 7 cases, 7 people at the county's office, 1 and 1 felony. A lot of that just depends on how their acceptance dates roll. And those numbers are kind of low. And we just took a whole lot earlier into last week. 16 hours overtime, 46 hours vacation, 25 hours sick leave, 8 hours other leave. And since she's outside, let me see, Bear County with we got a call upon 35 for somebody performing CPR on a person. Disturbance on Roadrunner, that's out there past 12 Creek. La Paz, we were out there with that was a drowning. I'm sorry, that was actually a drowning with a small child. We responded. That was terrible scene. The 13th, disturbance on Lucky Road, disturbance on Kinney Road. That's the ones right out there, not Kinney Road on 35. Welfare check, 2790 McCoy. That's actually our jurisdiction, really. Our 2790 McCoy is actually the city. DPS with the DWI. town, right out on 35, Medina County was missing juvenile. I guess we out in the, and then after the accident on 35, Avery. Actually, I went to the one on Avery. That was supposedly that was a Saturday middle of the day. A Amazon truck turned in front of a car and it rolled over. We got reports of the child, and so that's why I responded out there. And actually, I was the first law enforcement emergency vehicle out there to help direct traffic. So sometimes they're closer, we might not have been without having to go through it again. Mental health, we had, let me see, some detentions, mental health detentions there. What do we got? About 5 of them there. And background checks, Danny does most of those. We did just 5. I'm not too many there. And we had 2 deliveries to last, one in Houston, one in Austin. And that, we closed our applications for police officers. We did not get any, which might be the first time, but it might be the second time. I can't remember. Matt, do you remember if we ever, that's the first time we never got any. I wish I could get up here and say, well, you tight wads if you give me $1 more an hour, but that's not it. I mean, it's not, there's a lot of places hiring. You can look on there and see. Very competitive right now, all across the state. Jobs that used to not pay anything in some of the jurisdictions now pay very well, and there's just a lot of openings. Lots going on, and so we're going to re-advertise again after the first year. I mean, we've been lucky. Most departments have been struggling with this for a long time. We've been kind of lucky. But the good thing is, with a 12-person department, we leave one short, and it doesn't put us in a critical bind. So we're okay. We'll go back to that. Again, I wish there was a simple answer. A lot of it's just simply timing. The next step from this, if you can't get certified qualified applicants, you start hiring people and vet them, and then you hire them, and they go up there, they spend 6 months in the academy up here to reduce salary range, and they come on after that. That's other things, different places we look at. We're not there, but it's all, there's a lot of options. With the academy up the road, we're a little more blessed than most places. 20 minutes, 10 minutes away. But that's where we are. I think that's it. Otherwise, everything's going well. We've got equipment come in for those new vehicles. One of them's over getting decals on it. Everything's pretty good. I mean, I can't really complain. We're pretty blessed. Anything I might have forgot something.
Good. Council, any questions?
I have a general question. Do we patrol subdivisions, new and existing subdivisions?
Oh my gosh, we patrol everywhere, sir.
And if you catch a speeder in a subdivision?
Yes, but it's almost impossible to catch a speeder in a subdivision. I mean, it's just not, the way they're designed, it's just, like say Saddle Ridge, for example. It's almost because if you turn, you got a radar on your vehicle, and you turn, by the time you turn, the person's, so you have to be, like Saddle Ridge, for example, the only place you could work, I'm using it as an example, is maybe the main road.
Right, coming in off the access road.
The stop sign's there, so it's not, it's a very tight area.
And I imagine you patrol for suspicious activities and so
Well,
forth, just like throughout the city?
Our officers we have a deal called every street, every shift. Every officer on a 12-hour shift is going to go down every street, no matter how minute, almost all the time. Math percentage rise on that is where, now keep in mind, these guys are also, they're making a lot of DWI arrests. They're not always going to do that.
It's going to take time.
But basically, the percentage rate you're getting right now is where?
We're probably 70-ish%. Only because our night shift guys are picking up a lot of arrests on you. They make an arrest, we're losing at least 3 hours of their 12-hour shift on just that one arrest.
Right.
Hours driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that being said, now every street I'm talking about, some of them, they don't go down, and Matt counts against them, but there's streets that they can see down. Like say, for example, if you go down the little stretch of live oak behind back to
Right.
your house.
It's just one block.
Yeah, one block. There's a little block there.
If they don't hit that with a GPS, then Matt counts it against them theoretically. But they actually can see down the street. Now, I'm not giving you, I don't mean to but I'm just giving you, that's a process we use to ensure
The patrols.
the patrol.
Yeah, well, thanks for the information, and I feel real safe here in Lido. You guys are doing a great
Well,
job.
I appreciate it, but it's not, we're just one little bitty. It's a
Yeah, but
whole-
we're right off the highway. I mean, that is by itself.
The highway does create a challenge.
Yes.
If we were not on a major highway, we could probably, get rid of, if we weren't so close to San Antonio, we weren't on a major highway, we'd probably have about 7 officers.
No,
Fine and dandy.
you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
You're one of my favorite counts.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a little bit. All right, council. So it is 8:10 right now. If you all okay, so that because we have folks that are already here, and I know we're going to have to go into executive session. If you all okay, can we go ahead and press into the informational items? We'll just go around, cover that. So all we got to do is go into the executive session, and folks are not hanging around. Are you all, everybody okay? Can I get a
Sounds
motion
good.
for us to go ahead and do that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's go ahead and press on to item number 10, and we'll go ahead and cover the informational items. So start over here. See if there's
So
anything.
our annual citizenship award has completed on October the 31st, and we already have our appointees, and we will be announcing those at our next meeting, Mayor. And we got some very good candidates this year. And a reminder for next year and from previous years, if you submitted a nomination form and they were not selected, please resubmit every year. We cannot carry over from one year to the next, but please resubmit. Thank you,
Okay.
Mayor.
No, that is awesome. That is awesome. Great job. We'll talk a little bit about that, definitely. Zach? Richie, Matt, Pete, Mon, anything? Going back over here, anything to pass on to general information? Anything?
Band update?
Yes, please.
Yeah, our band went to Beeville last week, and we came in 5th place, which allows us to go compete for state this coming Wednesday at the Alamo Dome. We will be having a send-off right up front here by the hardware store and the City Hall parking lot, and that will be 9:15 Wednesday morning. Richie will probably be coordinating with you, Mr. Cheshire, to make that happen. Get us an escort out of town. They perform later in the day. There'll be a preliminary around 4 something, I think they're performing. And if they make the cut to the final 10, then they'll have to stay and again in the evening. We're hoping they do well. But we're at the state for the 2nd year in a row after having never officially been at state before. So we're doing very well.
Yeah, and we were mentioning earlier, I mean, these are young kids. We got really, a lot of them are young, so the future looks really good for the band. And of course, our directors have been doing an outstanding job. The teachers, the staff, everybody over there. The color guard is just unbelievable too. I mean, everybody's doing a great job all the way around. Okay, things I want to pass on. Special thanks to Public Works and PD for handling the semi that was stuck on I-35 on the frontage road. So we really appreciate. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. So let's take care. We got to take care of item number 10. If you guys would like to stay around, then we can go ahead and take a look at that. Okay. I'll need to go ahead and talk to legal and make sure because we did already take action. Okay. So yeah, yeah. So basically let me just take care of item 10 and then we'll come back to it. Okay. So first of all, special thanks to Public Works and PD for handling of the semi truck I-35. So appreciate everything you guys did. handling a lot of stuff for TxDOT. You guys went out there and took care of a very difficult situation so we could get the road cleared out on that. I want to say thanks to Michael for taking care of our concerned residents and working with your HOA. Appreciate you being out there. That meant a lot. Matt, thank you for attending the emergency management meeting that we had in San Antonio, representing the city for that. That was good, so we could get some information and keep taking care of that. Special thanks for PD for the escorts with all of our students. I know I've been keeping them very busy, but it's a good busy and go along with that. Thanks to Public Works for the cleanup event this weekend. You guys knocked it out. I want to say thank you to our council members too for helping us out. That were very successful, and I think it worked out really good in a timely fashion to do that. Thanks to Frank for his efforts with all the compliance. If you've noticed, we've been keeping our new compliance officer very busy, but he's been doing a great job out there. Heads up, WTG will continue. This is our gas people. We'll continue to work on the gas lines around the primary school. Hopefully here in the next 2 weeks, they'll take care of that area. You'll notice that there's a bunch of those metal things covering up. So hopefully they'll be finishing up with that. They should be done with everything down heading your way. Yeah, they should be. They should just be doing the finishing touches, but all the big stuff, they should already be done on that. Still posting, information about the past water collection issues that we had in a sense of with the billings. So please make sure people know that everything has been corrected. Everything is going to go out there. So we just need to make sure that our folks, council members, if you haven't looked inside your last bill, it was an orange flyer, right? That was in there. I think it was orange. It had all the stuff in there. Please get familiar with that. So if any of your residents in your districts are asking questions, you're able to go ahead and get an idea about that. Things that are coming up. We got Veterans Celebration tomorrow over at the elementary school. We have a parade that starts on Bloom Drive, and then they go around, and then they end up with a performance. This year, they're going to move it, I think, to the football field. So it should be pretty good if you have any folks out there to do that. I also do want to mention over in Natalia, they do a really good job, too, with the memorial celebration that they do. They like to tailor to veterans that are still with us. So it's a great thing to be able to do that. And it's right at 11. So you can go to one and then go to the other. 22nd, do want to remind our folks, council, on the 22nd of November, you have an email from Paola about us getting together right before the holidays. So please make sure you look at that. It has all the details with that. On the 13th of December, we have our Wreaths Across America in the morning. And this is a thing that we are actually starting here. Divine has been doing it. We had folks that actually decided to put it together. It's a national program they're going to be doing here, and it's all our cemeteries. Wherever we have a veteran, they're going to get a wreath. They already have enough volunteers. They've gotten everything that they need, but it's a big celebration, just to let you know, and that's in the morning. In the afternoon, we'll actually have or in the evening, we'll have our hayride. And everything is planned. We should be putting the route here pretty soon that we're going to have, and all the details that go along with that. So the same traditional thing that we need to do that. Special congrats to our cross-country boys and girls. Our girls ended up in 5th place in the state. That is awesome. And our boys brought home the gold. So great job overall, highlighting Lytle, and kudos to the coaches doing all that. Football season is complete. We still have a lot of stuff that follows after that, including the band, and also with basketball and everything else that goes along with that. So stay tuned with all the different things that we actually have on that. Okay. In case I do miss the opportunity based on that, please, for tomorrow, take the time and make sure that we actually highlight a veteran. Look out for those veterans that are out there. That's what Veterans Day is supposed to be, is highlight those folks that are still with us, be able to thank them for the service. Memorial Day in May is more for those that have passed away. We can do it both ways, but tomorrow it's more about putting a little bit extra attention to those that are still with us and have served our nation. Okay? Any last minute thing with information?
Yes, the drama club at the high school is putting on their fall play this Sunday afternoon at 3, and then Monday night and Tuesday night. over the auditorium at the high school. And I encourage you all to go out and see that. It's a comedy this year, and it's something that they don't normally do. They're going to try a comedy.
That'll be good. Be able to take care of that. Okay. Anything else? Okay, Austin. With that one, basically.
So there's really, what's in here now is really a refreshing. Okay, and it's in here, you see it in here, and so that's really what we're doing. So there's not anything for council to do per se. Really, all you'd be opening it up for would be citizens about comment.
Yep.
Do that, just to put it in the record, information, but, there's not really anything to be open based on that discussion.
So could you hear that?
I heard some of it, yes.
Okay. So basically, since we went ahead and put it back to get more information from the engineers, that's what we're waiting for, to get the information that goes along and make a determination on that. But we want to give you, if you'd like to go ahead and take, since we already finished and did our portion, we didn't take action, we didn't do anything. It's still going to go back for the engineering to do that. If you do want to make some comments, you can come up and make some comments. You'll have 3 minutes to do that.
Well, my concern is. how long
Come on
is it
up.
gonna take-
Come on up.
My
and-
concern is how long are they gonna take to do it? We're trying to proceed and get it completed and doing it in a nice way, in a pretty way. We don't wanna park like everybody else that parks on the county property or the city property. If you go down Somerset Road, you got people parking on the county property, city property. And we're trying to do it the correct way, but we haven't been allowed to do it the right way. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I don't know how long the engineers are gonna take. We still got a few, maybe a month and a half to complete it, but we do want to proceed.
No, we totally understand. And
Yes.
we got together and we talked about
Yes,
it.
we did.
So we know in a sense of the things that needed to be taken into consideration. So I think we're still waiting for that to be.
Scott and Scott, our engineer, and Mr. Lopez got together last week. They worked stuff out, and so it's in their lab. I talked to Scott this morning. Like I said earlier, I expect an answer by Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday. But I mean, that's what he's telling me.
Okay.
I'll pass that on.
Appreciate it. Keep working with Zach. Okay.
Okay. We'll do
That'd be
that.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. With that in mind, council, it is, well, actually, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and proceed to the executive session. If you need to use the restrooms, just use the restrooms, and we can go to the back. So let me go ahead and cover executive session 8. The City Council, City of Lidle may convene an executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas, Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with the attorney to discuss and consider the following items. A possible research opportunity. And let's go ahead and show 823. Pennsylvania. Okay, let's go ahead and show Zach. We're back at 8:48. No action taken in the back. And item number 9, discussion and possible action regarding matters discussed in executive session. No action taken on that one. Paula, if you can please do that. With that in mind, I need a motion for us to go ahead and adjourn. It is 8:48.
Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting for tonight.
Okay. A second. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Thank you so much, Council. I appreciate the adjustments and the flexibility